Check, check, check. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, that means you now tuned into chapter 76 of the Introverted Intuition podcast. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster. To my right, I have Miss Lainey.
Hola.
To her right, we have Miss Coco.
Hola.
We have returning co-host from the dead, CR, Conscious Rap.
What up?
We aren't beefing. We are still cool. You're still part of the show. Let them know that, please.
I'm definitely a part of the show. I heard some people was asking Jeff if we were beefing, which is crazy because that's my bro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So everything's good. I'm back, bitches.
Before we introduce our guests, I have to make an apology to Pitbull because last week...
That shit had me crying.
I didn't know he spoke English, and I said that. I expressed that sentiment, and a lot of people took that wrongly, like it was them I was talking about. So
I do recall.
Pitbull, I apologize. I also have a short story which will perfectly segue into the introduction of our guests. So after that last recording, I was at Newark train station, waiting for my train. You know, sometimes there's like a big gap in between the next train home or whatever. And I felt we all had this experience where we had a little kid come up to us with a clipboard trying to ask for money. And this
They're on a basketball team. They need
soccer
money
team,
for
football team.
They never played a
Football
single
team,
sport in their entire life. And this kid comes up to me. He was like, blah, blah, blah. Would you like to donate towards my team or whatever? And I'm like, I'm sorry, little man. I don't have any cash. His whole attitude flips. He got pissed off. He was like, "You too grown to have boogers in your nose. You broke. I get more money than you." I'm like, yo, I was about to toss this little guy, and like I'm just looking at him. I'm just like, all I said was like, "You mad?" He was like, "I'm not mad," and he stormed off. And I bring that up to say he's a good actor.
Shout out to him.
Shout out to that little boy from Newark.
And I don't even know where he's from. He had no parents around.
Shout out to Newark.
And
There's some characters out
the
there.
acting aspect of it is brought up because I saw that our guest has done a little acting, correct?
Oh, I did a little something.
Right? So maybe he can be under your school of acting and learn a little something and how to get money from people.
Hey, everybody. By the way, this is Mimi Simpson. I am a comedian first, actress second. I'm a stand-up comedian from Chicago by way of New Jersey. Right. So yeah, that's what I do a little bit. I'm on a new show on BET, the Major Hype Show. Oh, cool. So you guys check that out. It's on BET Digital. We've had like maybe 10 episodes. It's funny. You know, it's me, Major Hype, Mr. Commodore, Natalie, the one that does like the Cardi B impressions.
Okay.
She's on the show too. I think Busta Rhymes makes a special appearance.
Acting?
Busta Bus.
Can you tell us how we can watch it for all those for everybody out there who doesn't really know? Can you tell everybody how they can tune in and watch you?
You can look at it on YouTube on BET's YouTube channel.
There we go.
Yeah, you can just go to BET's YouTube channel and type in Major Hype Show, MAJAH Hype HYPE show. I'm Mimi Simpson. You can Google me. I got some funny stuff out there. So yeah.
I'm still tripping on Busta Rhymes acting. Last time I saw Busta, he fell off the stage and he was like headbanging, then he fell forward off the stage.
Damn.
And then I think he had a concussion or some shit. But
where was
he bounced back.
I mean, he's had a long career. His career shouldn't be diminished to a fall off stage.
You don't think so?
I done fell off stage before. You ever?
Oh no.
Can we start at the beginning, like before you were on the stage, before you were acting, when you were in Chicago, born and raised, right?
Yeah, born and raised in Chicago.
What was like your youth like? How did you get into where you're doing now? Like,
you know, I've always been funny. I've always loved the arts. I actually went into the military at a young age. Yeah.
Is that because everybody in Chicago knows how to shoot an AR-15?
You know what? What's funny? Yeah, that was actually kind of why I liked guns. No, I mean I like guns.
But is that the climate out there too? Like it's just the norm for people to have guns, or?
Oh yeah, it's like ID.
Okay.
Goddamn.
So
Yeah.
the news isn't exaggerated. It's like Chirac for real.
No, it's not exaggerated at all. As a matter of fact, y'all don't see all the news. Like we don't cover shootings where people don't die. You know what I'm saying? So like y'all see the shootings where people die. Imagine the person that gets shot in the leg. He gets no love. Like he don't even get an ambulance ride. You know what I'm saying? Like a leg wound, you got to drive yourself to the hospital.
Right.
Somebody call him an Uber.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely got to use Uber. They get that quicker. They dealing with headshots.
So you were in the Army for how long?
I did 8 years.
That's what's up.
Wow.
So yeah, I was a sergeant in the Army. I was in supply. So I was in charge of
The guns?
Yep, I was in charge of.
She's in charge of the
Great
guns.
guess.
I was in
Great
charge
The
of.
most
guess.
important thing.
Yeah, I was in charge of the weapons. I was in charge of everything you need supplied. So weapons, food, housing. You know, like people in supply, we take care of the logistics. So when you're in charge of the weapons, you know, you gotta be an expert with them. You have to know how to fix them, how to clean them, how to shoot them, how to troubleshoot. So
You're
know.
ready for the apocalypse.
Oh yeah, I can shoot the balls off an ant.
Damn.
Now we know who to look for when the apocalypse happens.
Oh, yeah, I'm nice.
And
I'm
we
nice.
know not to who to piss off. 'Cause
Yeah.
Yes, please. I can
That's
shoot
what's
you
up.
from a
I have
couple
a
blocks
question.
away.
You said you was in the Army. So, you know, growing up, I was always been told that black people shouldn't enlist into the Army. What do you say to that now as a black woman?
I agree.
Why?
I was young and dumb when I joined. It was literally because I like guns.
Yo.
So you wouldn't encourage anybody else to enlist?
Nah, I don't believe in none of that shit. You
Are
know,
the perks worth
like
it?
you get to see the
Are the
world.
perks worth it at the end?
I know. I don't think the mental distress of it is worth it. And I don't and we're, you know, we be fighting for shit. We don't even know what the fuck we fighting for. You know, like our commander in chief, I don't trust him. I don't fuck with him at all.
Well, yeah.
So I definitely don't want to be sent nowhere just because his hot tempered ass, you know, want to start shit. And even you know 9/11, I joined a year before 9/11. So when 9/11 happened, I was actually in basic training
Wow.
at the time, and like as soon as
That was my next question. Like, when did you join?
Yes, I'm giving my age away now.
Oh, no.
But yeah, I was in basic training when 9/11 happened, and they told us, it was like, oh, your asses is going to war. And we did, and we went to war with the wrong fucking country. Like, we went to war with Iraq for what?
Yeah.
With Iraq. See, that cracker got us saying Iraq.
I thought that was the right.
Yo, this whole time, me too.
Like it's not.
Been
No,
been
and I
brainwashed.
have to condition myself to get it. It's Iraq.
That don't even sound right.
It's
Right.
it's
It don't
Iraq.
sound
I've
like-
been saying
But
it.
he been saying because our fucking president was saying it wrong the whole time. And nobody
Yeah.
corrected Iraq.
Iraq.
We're going into Iraq and we're gonna kill them motherfuckers.
Get the all.
Basically, say it like that. Though. He really did. Basically, that's what we was going over there
That was
for.
right on point, that impression there.
And I had a lot of friends that went overseas, and some didn't make it back. You know, some came back fucked up. You know, like got shot several times and just like mentally not right. You know, they ain't right when they come back.
How did you feel when you came back?
I didn't have to go.
Thank God.
Thank God.
I never, you know, and it was just God. You know, it was just a fluke why I didn't go. It was just kind of how my career was moving. You know, like I started out in Chicago, and then I transferred to a unit in Georgia. As soon as I got my transfer papers, my unit in Chicago got orders to go overseas. The unit that I transferred to in Georgia, they were already overseas. But like when a unit goes overseas, they don't send the whole unit. It's like 80% goes and 20% stay behind because you're not going to shut a whole unit down. Yeah. So I was there with the pregnant people and the old niggas and the fat niggas that didn't pass the PT test. Yeah, them niggas that, you know, just wait until they get out of there. So, and then I transferred to another unit, and they had just gotten back. So, and then for a period of time, I was non-deployable, too, because I was in a commissioning program. And so when you're in this program, you can't you can't. They want you to stay and get commission, but I didn't wind up commissioning anyway. So, but
So during, like,
She
you
found her
said like
loopholes.
huh?
She found her loopholes not to get deployed.
yeah.
And you still got the benefits of like I guess you get paid obviously, right? So like you get,
Well, I don't get paid anymore.
but you did during that time. You like even you had the commission, like you got all those
What's
benefits.
the pay like? He wants to know what the pay like.
Oh, the pain
Kinda,
shit,
yeah.
man. It's so many ways to get money out here. Like, don't be confused to think that the only thing that you can do is, is join the military to get money. It's so many ways, from real estate to marketing to sales to the
Comedy.
arts, comedy, whatever. Yeah, it's so many ways. Like, do not serve this country. Fuck. I'm not saying fuck this country. I love this country, but
Make it clear.
Parts of this country.
I'm not ready
but
to
fuck
die.
these
Yeah.
wars.
Yeah.
Word,
But
peace.
this ain't our war. This, you know
Peace
what I'm
and
saying?
love.
These ain't our wars. We got other shit here to work on. Let's get our shit together while we worried about somebody else's mess.
You were there for 8 years, correct?
Mhm.
So like, what was like the most valuable lesson that you learned? Like, what was the one thing you really took away from that experience? Like,
I mean, that I could shoot real good.
got it.
Like, like if a nigga tried me, like,
Do you have a gun on you right now?
no,
Oh, okay.
no, I don't carry in the city.
Would you consider showing others how to shoot?
Oh yeah.
Look, Coco
Yeah,
was
What's
I'm-
happening
I'm
right
ready.
now?
I've taught a couple people how to shoot. I've taught a couple guys I was dating how to shoot.
Okay.
That's interesting. You taught the guys you was dating how to shoot.
That's dope.
Yeah, I mean they had guns.
They just ain't know
They
how to
just know
shoot
how to
proper.
shoot.
They just
How to
weren't.
hold it to the side.
They,
They weren't trained.
they
They had a
hood
technique.
They shouldn't
shooters.
shoot their dick
Yeah,
off.
like
So they
I-
was holding it sideways like
The
this.
Glock, yeah.
yeah, I'm teaching you technique and and how to troubleshoot if your gun jam and stuff like that. So
Mm.
And it's crazy with the way the climate is today. You actually need a gun, honestly. Like in some parts of the world, you really will need to have one of those on you to be safe.
yeah, I live in Newark. I need a gun.
So you know what's up.
Is Newark as
I
bad
live
as
in
it's
Elizabeth.
advertised? I don't know personally.
Hmm?
Is Newark as bad as it's advertised? You
So-
probably know more than me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
In certain parts worse than others, but overall, yeah.
Yeah, you could get like some I live on a halfway decent block.
Where
What's
you at?
halfway decent? What's
Like the drugs are not on my street.
You live in Ironbound?
So like the crackheads don't come down my block, but they walk on the cross street.
Okay.
I get it. I'm
But-
there. I get it.
Yeah,
see what you
so it's like when the drug addicts when you see them,
Right.
look like Walking Dead a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's terrible. out
So
here.
they don't. I don't have to see them like passing by the house.
You don't have to worry about one like on your front lawn just chilling.
Yeah, no, I don't gotta do that. But they will be up the street.
Got it. In case you need one. In case. We ever thought about like hiring homeless people as like for protection and stuff like that? I always thought about that. Like if you toss them a little something, they will like keep your house safe. Like they'll keep your family safe. I thought about that. Honestly. We gotta start
I never
giving
thought
back.
of that. Yeah.
I
nothing.
wouldn't trust them. I think that they would
I got nothing
set
to
you
add
the
to
fuck up.
That's
Like,
great.
I got
They
you. They'll
will-
take the money.
they will wait for the prime time to get their homie to break in your shit.
Yeah.
Like I know they not home. Come on, let's do this.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
yeah.
I think
That's
you better
funny.
go with a
Dangerous.
security system or something. Don't hire homeless people to watch your house.
It's all about giving back, you know.
Give
Okay.
them back. They gonna take.
So you mentioned that you thought you were always funny. Like, where did that come from? People telling you, or you just notice how many times you make someone laugh and you're like, okay, maybe I am funny.
Yeah, people always laughed at me. My mom told me I was gonna be a comedian since I was a child.
Mm.
She
That's
and even though I've done other, I've done work. I worked in corporate America. I worked in sales. I was in it was a Fortune 500 company. I was top 5% of the company, but in sales, I was doing like technology sales. But even within that company, I was great at the job, but I felt like I knew I was great at sales, because people buy from who they like. It was really it was like personality. And I would even get like job offers from people in other states, like trying to poach me, basically. Like, wanted to hire me because they liked the way I finessed over the phone.
Okay.
Um,
Did you put on like a white voice so you went over the phone?
no, I don't have a white voice.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never acquired it. I never tried to.
You should.
So this heavy voice I got, no, I don't need it.
No, you don't need it. You don't need it, but
I'm good. Nah, fuck that.
You got that classic black woman voice, like.
Yep, I love
Like,
it.
I'll whoop your ass if.
Have you ever tried to play with it?
With my voice?
Yeah, with the white voice.
Oh yeah, I do it all the time.
That's
I mean, you
You
know
try
what?
that?
I do it to get through gatekeepers sometimes. So
Yeah.
I put on a British accent.
The accent. Okay. All right. How does that go so far?
That always, that always makes people feel better.
I haven't tried it in a while, but when I was doing in sales, I would call and ask for Amber and tell them that I'm from Viacom.
Okay. There's something about a British accent that makes you feel safe.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Comforted for some reason, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and
you can trust that person.
yeah, like you can't trust the British.
Hell no.
But
Hell no.
but they
Second
accent
snort. I
would
already
trick
snorted
you.
twice.
So I still love the arts and creating. I love art. I love the art of storytelling. So I wanted to do like film production, like to make feature film, TV, music videos, stuff like that. So I left the company. I quit, and I went to film school.
Cool.
I went to film school, and I was making almost six figures. I was 23, and I was making like six figures.
Wow.
But I was like, you know what? If I can make y'all six figures, I can make me six figures.
That's a good
Mm.
mentality, though. I
That's a-
respect
yeah.
that.
For sure.
You
That's
know,
real.
like if you guys have enough to pay me this, I know how much I'm actually making
Worth.
you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I can count. I know, sales numbers. Yeah, I was bringing in big money for y'all.
Word.
And you ungrateful. So yeah, I went to film school.
Where
I
at?
went to New York Film Academy.
Okay, cool.
I went for production.
Mm.
And the first job I got out of film school was in Atlanta. So I wound up moving back from New York back to Atlanta. I was living in Atlanta when I was working at the technology company. I was an assistant writer on Meet the Browns.
Oh.
Nice.
I love that. shit.
So and even like the way the writing room goes, like you have like 4 head writers, and then you have like 2 stand-up comedians that do punch-ups.
Mm.
And
What's a
then
punch up?
like once the script is written, to just make sure the flow of the script is the funny is on cue.
Okay.
So to make sure every like beat is funny and is what it's supposed to be. And the show flows like how it should.
I've heard writing rooms like really competitive too. Like, 'cause everybody's trying to get that one joke into the script, and then like I don't know. That's what I've heard.
It is. That's why I got fired.
How'd that go?
I definitely got fired.
Pulled the gun out on somebody.
You know what?
She ain't say no.
It crossed her mind.
You was in Atlanta now.
She ain't say no.
I didn't pull the gun out on them, but I let them know that I had it.
I was about to say, you
Oh, no.
flashed it. You did one
I
of
just
these?
let them know it was available to me. No, I'm
Got
kidding.
it.
But you know what? It was cool though. Like even the head writer, that's still my dude, man. He was the head writer on Eve's show. He created Eve's show.
Oh, word.
Okay.
And that ran for like 9 seasons.
Yeah.
He's also the head writer now on Raven Simone's new show. So yeah, he told me like writing, we can come back to that, like
Yeah.
you should do stand up. And I was like, no. Like I didn't want to do it.
Why were you hesitant?
I'm not a fan of fame. I don't necessarily need attention. Like I like to be creative. I like to work, but I don't need unnecessary attention. Like,
Right.
I get more attention than I like sometimes. I'm a private, to myself
Low key.
person. Yeah, I'm very low key. I'm alone a lot. I'm a loner. I like that shit.
Sounds like
I
you're
like
an
me.
introvert.
Yes, I like me.
Word.
Um,
You're extroverted introvert.
yeah.
Ambivert.
Yes.
I always forget that.
So yeah, I was just wanting to be like on the other side of the camera, but you know, like I said, I'm funny,
Do you remember your first like time getting on stage?
of course. Um, so um, what made me start comedy after being told I should be a comedian like forever, it was my mom. You know, she been trying to get me to be a comedian my whole life, to be honest with you. And I honestly didn't even think of comedy as a career for real. Like I seen like Eddie Murphy and stuff, but I never thought of like how to be a comedian. So I never really took it serious. But she just always had it stuck in her head because I was so good at making her laugh. You know, when she should have been fucking me up.
Right.
You know, like cuz I was bad as a child. Yeah, I was bad. I had a bad attitude, bad
Smart
mouth.
mouth. I already
Fought,
know.
oh my God, I fought a lot. I fought all my friends, all of them.
How many times did you win though?
I won most of the time. I could fight.
Okay. Oh, hey, I ain't telling you can't. I ain't saying you can't. I'm just asking.
I wasn't just fighting to fight. I learned some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I had uncles that liked to fight me, so I learned from them. They was trying to fuck me up, and then I had to take it out on somebody too. I was getting fucked up at home, so.
Word.
But that's what kids do. You know, they fight. So
It was really your mom who had the foresight for you to become a comedian, and you just.
Yeah. And then so we had a tragedy happen in the family. You know, we Chicago, and shit happens in Chicago, and you know sometimes you're a victim of it. So, you know, my mom's brother was killed in a home invasion. And you know he was such a great person. You know it really sucks when you know they not even about no type of life. You know what I'm saying? Like this man go to church 3 or 4 times a week. You know, didn't drink, didn't curse, didn't smoke, never raised his voice in anger. He was just a great person, a great man. You know, like coached a church basketball team. Like got hoodlums to join the church basketball team. He was that good. You know, just a great person. So it was really, you know, painful. It was hurting, you know, like for my family to lose like such a great, you know, person. And my mom was like, you know what, Mimi, when I'm sad and I'm fucked up and I don't want to get out the bed. She didn't say fucked up because my mom's a Christian. That's my language. But she was like, when I'm sad and I'm, you know, I don't want to get out the bed. I ain't brushed my teeth in 2 days. She was like, you know what I do to get out of bed? She was like, I think about you. And she was like, and I could be in the middle of crying and I would just bust out laughing.
That's
That's
beautiful.
beautiful.
It is.
That's beautiful.
And
Yeah.
she was like, and I don't want you to ever take for granted the ability to make somebody smile because it's a gift, you know. And she was like, God blesses you to bless others. So, you know, like live in your purpose. Like I want you to just try it. You know, just try stand up. And I was like, all right, Ma, I got you. Like now I can't tell her no because you done put the sad story on me. So I did it. I took a comedy course at a comedy club here in New York, the Comic Strip Live.
Right.
I took an 8-week course there, and
Who's one of your biggest comedic influences?
I love Martin. I love Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Ellen DeGeneres, Wanda Sykes. I love Monique as a person.
I had that question about that for later too.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up the Monique question later.
Yeah.
I like Monique. I mean, I love us. So in no shape, form, or fashion could I ever down talk my black sister that's paved the way, you know, in a career field that I want to be in. I ain't gonna never say nothing bad about sis. So, you know, I want her to be great. I want her to get all the coins she's supposed to motherfucking get. How dare you pay somebody with 1/8 of her talent, like 10 times the amount of money. Nah, I ride with Mo all the way. You should be about your money, you know?
I have an opinion on that, but I agree with that. I just feel like everyone shouldn't do something with a certain amount of money attached to it, right? Experience is more valuable than money. So she could have paid that whatever amount she was first offered, gotten that experience, built a relationship with Netflix, and then possibly for the next thing, if it did well, could have gotten something even bigger, a bigger check. I feel.
It was one of those things I actually agree with Jeff. I don't want to say like she should have. I felt like because of her resume wasn't that extensive and that long.
Her resume is long though. She been doing stand up around the country.
Stand up. But when it came to the Netflix series that she wanted, she had ever since I think it was the movie Precious and the whole Grammy thing. She was gone. She didn't do anything. My personal opinion was that I would have liked for Monique to have done the Netflix special to put herself back out there because it was a lot of people who no longer knew. It was a whole generation who did not know who Monique was.
Yeah.
Nah, she was in a couple movies. She was in that movie with DC Young Fly.
But those are movies, can I say something? Those are movies that are only like really open to the urban.
Okay,
so my thing with that was it was just like when I say her resume wasn't that extensive, she didn't cross over.
I disagree. And then on top of that, like financially, it doesn't make sense for a stand-up comedian of her stature to do a special for that little amount of money because, like, once you put that material out, you can't do that material on the road because people saw it in your special. You got to do a whole new hour. Yeah. And if I'm making $50,000 a weekend, with this hour, why would I give it to you? You know what I'm saying? I'm making between 50 and 100. It just depends on what city you in, what comedy club. If I'm making $50,000 to $100,000, and then sometimes I could do one show and make $20,000, like on a Tuesday. Like, you know what I'm saying? Comedians, when they move, they move. Right. So financially, like, yeah, it doesn't make sense for her to give that up for such a small amount of money. She could take that same hour and tour with it and make more money. And then that's not even including merch.
So why didn't she do that? Like, why is she still doing this press run, like, complaining about it?
Well, she's touring. She's still touring, and she's doing what she's supposed to do until they come back with a better offer. Yeah, she's supposed to still tour and sell out, and that's going to increase her ability to bargain for more money. Honestly, what she should do is she should shoot her own special, and then give it to them, and then shop it to them. Like Dave Chappelle did.
To them. If you was just that unhappy about what Netflix offered you, just shoot your own special and put it out there, just to prove to the people, like, I still have it. I'm Monique. Like, people are always gonna flock to me. And I think that's why Netflix was hesitant to even give her that money because it's like
that was that was disrespectful. The amount they offered is disrespectful considering they gave Amy Schumer $11 million.
But can I say something about Amy Schumer? She was in that moment. She was the it girl. She was the white people's comedian it girl. So they was gonna give her that money because they knew they was gonna see it back. The streaming was gonna happen. Monique, that was It was
Because at the end of the day, like I feel both sides because I know on the business aspect they're looking at it as an investment. Like they're looking at, okay, I could pay you this, what you want, but are you going to make it back? And that's what they were afraid of. Not this, you know what I'm saying? I'm just playing devil's advocate because that's what Netflix was thinking. Was it worth the money?
Legend out here, man. Y'all
disrespect a different generation.
It doesn't matter what the it doesn't matter what the generation is. And the urban dollar matters. We matter.
No, I'm not gonna say the urban dollar does matter, but in this instance, when it comes to stuff like this, it's the urban dollar, and then it's still white America's dollar. We're still right here. When it comes to our people, when it comes to our comedians, they don't really make it. And I feel like other comedians proved that to us. Like, what's his name? He likes the trans, party all the time.
Eddie Murphy?
Thank you. Yeah, Eddie Murphy, him. It wasn't until he crossed over where he was able to see that success. I'm sure if he comes to Netflix right now, haven't done anything, they're going to offer him top dollar because he's that well known. Monique just wasn't a house, what's that?
A household name.
A household name yet, and I feel like that's why she got the short end of the stick.
She was
really
a queen of comedy. She
us.
she won an Oscar. She won a fucking Oscar.
She won an Oscar for being an abusive mother,
Mm.
where white people saw her in a negative light. And it's just like we gotta be very clear about these Oscars here. When we win Oscars, because we playing the most bullshittest, fucked up character known to man, that always makes us look crazy. And in her character, she was an abusive mother who was sexing her own child and letting her child get raped by her husband.
It doesn't matter what the role was or why we won it or whatever theological, reason you have behind.
But she didn't win for comedy.
But
she won for drama.
it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. It's just about the popularity, the people that watch the Oscars that know who she is now. Like that's what. So it's like, oh, what else you got?
That's what I'm trying to say. She did that the Oscars the 1 year, and then she went. She was blackballed after that. She was blackballed after that because she won. She felt because she won the Oscars, she was supposed to get.
She was still touring on the road, getting money.
This generation is
like people think comedy, but that's what we talking about. We talking about comedy. People think that when a comedian disappear, like our money is on the road.
Yeah.
Is period. Like all these Instagram, people that do stuff funny in the camera, they all try to turn into comedians. Why? Because that is where the bread is. Monique did not disappear. She was on the road getting money. She was working the whole time.
She didn't disappear. She was on the road getting money. So if you are a real fan of comedy, you were seeing her. For all the people at home who was just waiting for the movies, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I mean she wasn't a household name.
And I think the thing is that we're looking at it where Netflix was trying to pay for reputation than talent. Because if they were paying for talent, then yeah, without a doubt, she would have got that bread. But if you're going off of what their audience is, which is mainstream America, white America, they're making that comparison.
They still could have offered more money.
I agree.
How much reputation did Amy Schumer have at that time, though?
At that time, because of all the films, all the films she was doing in that moment.
She had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm talking about her, like.
But she was selling
the
out
amount
arenas.
Of time. She was hot at the moment. I agree, but she didn't have too
But that's
much
all business is
right?
about for them. It's like, okay, you're hot in this moment. This is a quick flip. It's a quick flip.
We are in like a very microwavable era where so things are just coming very constantly, right? So it's not about what Monique is done. It's about what you're doing right now, like to the face of like these execs. It's like there's so much opportunity, so many ways to make content nowadays. If she's not doing it consistently now, compared to what she's done, it doesn't matter.
And for the record, I do think it is unfair that it is that way because I love Monique. I grew up watching the Parkers.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like she's funny as hell.
I'm just saying, from the other point of things, I can kind of see why Netflix lowballed the price. Was it right?
No,
but I kind of see it from that point.
Way too low.
Way too low.
How much did they offer her before?
It was
money
like,
is relative.
It was like 100,000 or something.
I thought
like
it was
that.
like 50.
like
it was like 50 something.
It was low,
nah, hell
bro.
no, it wasn't like
it
that.
was low.
But you know how many comedians would kill jump at that chance?
It was like 500,000.
Okay. Something like that.
See, I didn't know once you do a special, you couldn't take that material on the road.
Yeah,
no, because people
they own it then, right?
Well, because people
not gonna want to hear the same jokes again.
Don't want to hear the same jokes.
Why Kevin Hart still do it?
He changes
parts of it, I believe. Right?
He changes his material up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he changed it up.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's not even funny, by the way, but
and that's why Kevin doesn't allow you to tape at his shows. That's why he locks your phones up. Like him, Dave Chappelle does it now too. Yeah, everybody is gonna be doing it. Tiffany Haddish should have did it.
Have you seen her stand up?
No.
Oh,
are you a fan? Jinx.
Never. She's okay. She's up. I'm here for you, girl. Uplift the black women, girl. That's it.
Power to my sisters.
That's right.
I won't.
Okay, that's cool and all, but just be honest though. Like
power to our sisters. Power to my
No, but if you don't like it, why can't you say it? Like you can still be supportive of black women, but if you don't like it.
So here, comedy is subjective.
Fact.
So just because it may not be my flavor, doesn't mean I don't think she can be a successful comedian.
Yeah.
She working right now. Like she doing a bunch of movies and so I understand how something like that, the little bombing situation, I understand how that could happen.
I think the movie should be her lane strictly. Like I think that's like she should have transcended to this level and stay there.
But but comedy, stand-up comedy, it is addictive. It's a
rush.
Yeah, oh my God.
I know.
It's like drugs.
Did you feel that rush after your first show?
Yep.
Like you didn't bomb, you killed it?
Yeah.
Have you ever bombed?
I was about to ask, have you ever bombed?
Mm-hmm.
And what was that like? Because every great comedian bounces back from that, and you obviously did not quit.
It was painful.
Mm.
I cussed everybody out.
Was it the jokes? Was it the crowd? The crowd was just boring that night?
No, I don't know what it was. Like, you gotta grab them when you first get on stage. Like
it's like a window.
Yeah.
Your opener is important, right?
Yeah.
It's like a first impression.
Yeah. So I didn't read the crowd right. And another comedian that went on before me was like he was Caribbean. First of all, it was a Caribbean crowd.
Okay.
I'm Haitian, so I already know it's a tough room, bro.
I tour with Major Hype sometimes. So like I've done a lot of shows with him in other countries, and I did his like little birthday tour. So we did a show together in the Bahamas, destroyed. Like, it was amazing. But you cannot take these Caribbean crowds lightly. You got to watch the show, and you got to come in right, and you got to say the right, or they will eat your head off.
Mm-hmm.
And they ate my head off that day, and I never played them with them again.
Fuck the
So,
Bahamas. You never going back? Or you going back?
oh yeah, I've done plenty shows with him.
Oh.
We did King's Theater. That was a 3,300 seater. You know, I got a standing ovation. I was
That's
the first
what's up.
comedian. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, that's dope.
I put that heat on their ass.
That's
Yeah.
what's up.
So yeah,
How would you describe your style of comedy if you could? Like,
I'm a little dark at times.
I like dark comedy.
Yeah. I like the
Um,
personal shit too, though.
clever. I would
Witty.
say I'm clever. I'm witty. Like most Chicago comedians, we're storytellers. So yeah, I talk about my family a lot. Relationships, politics, you know. I've unlimited like material.
When the show went bad, like, were there any hecklers, like people literally interrupting you or throwing shit at you?
Yeah, it was a boo came from somewhere. I was looking for them too.
I saw a
Like-
clip, one of your clips on YouTube. There was like the drunk couple talking, and you were actually started getting on them. Like you kind of brought them into your bit. And I thought that was dope.
Oh yeah, you got to learn how to do that, or like they can really ruin your set
Yeah.
because sometimes people are drunk. Some people don't really understand like that a comedy show is not interactive. Some people really think that you're
Yeah,
supposed to talk
That
back
wasn't a
to
joke.
me. Like,
I'm guilty of that. I've done that before.
yeah, this isn't a conversation. You came to hear me talk. Motherfucker. Shut your ass up, laugh, and that's it.
Yeah.
Hey yo.
What's the
So-
dude from High 97 that does comedy now? Cypher Sounds?
Oh yeah.
He does comedy now?
Yeah,
does
I interrupted
Ben.
one of his sets. I said something, man. He killed my shit, man. I took that, though. I took that L, though.
That's
I deserve that.
crazy.
But
Yeah, Syph, that's my dude.
yeah, he's dope. He's funny.
Yo, so do
You
you
better
ever,
say he's funny.
is there such thing
Nah,
Shout out
funny,
Cypher
right?
Sound.
where is there
Fuck you,
such
though.
thing as going too far, or is it a free fall when it comes to comedy?
That was my next question because of all the heat that comedians take for the things that y'all say sometimes. Isn't comedy supposed to be a free fall for everything?
Yes, it is. And the day it's not is the day I want to not do comedy no more. Like, we supposed to be able to say everything, whatever we want to say, because that's what it is. It's comedy. It's exaggerated. It's, you know, it's not always truthful, you know, but it's meant to be funny. As long as it's funny, it's okay.
How do you feel about everybody's reaction to the SMD comments that Monique had about Lee Daniels, Oprah, and who else was it? Yeah, and Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry,
I'm gonna
yeah.
tell Lee Daniels I think too.
Oh, she told them to suck her dick?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Why do women say
Oh,
suck
wait,
my
I
dick if they
didn't
don't
know
have a
that.
dick? I always really want
But-
to do that.
but-
Technically, you know, I hate to be the bearer of bad news to kind of kill the vagina for y'all, but the little clit sometimes, you know, it's like a little penis.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
no.
I've heard that
Suck
before.
my dick.
I guess, like, I don't know, like, those three words are definitely
It
mad
engorges with blood
disrespectful.
as a penis
yeah.
does.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's, you know what,
I say eat my ass or something. I feel like that's more disrespectful.
Oh Lord.
Because
Well,
people
in
don't like doing
In this day and age, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not
Oh,
an
yeah, that's
insult for
true,
so
yeah.
many people.
people
bro.
don't like it, shit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
This
okay.
ass get ate. I don't know what you're talking about. Salad
respect it.
definitely get tossed.
I respect it.
So you said you didn't hear about the backlash that she was getting for that?
Well, gay people are, you know how they are. They're very sensitive. You can't say nothing to them without them trying to take your whole little life away. So, I mean, I think it was just words. Like, it's just some shit you say when you mad. It's not nothing that we should like that should ruin her career, or like she a comedian. Like, the fuck, and I got a bad mouth sometimes. I said, suck my dick, get over it.
Cardi B says it all the time.
Yeah, like the fuck.
So you feel like everybody else was kind of overreacting, like Steve
Yes.
Harvey and
He apologized about that
Steve
shit too, but I feel like he only apologized because of the backlash he got.
Because like, I just feel like, did anybody see the clip floating on Instagram when he admitted that he was going to be a coon for the white man years ago?
Oh, that part? No, I didn't see that.
It was part of his set.
Yeah, it was part of his set. Yeah, I was just saying, well, at least he told us. He told us, so it's just like,
you can tell a lot about a comedian from their
beginning
their
stages.
stand up.
Would you agree that there's like a certain stigma for comedians? Like, they're like, they come off as like very happy people, but like they're trying to fill this void with like their comedy, like maybe in their life or just in general.
Sure. I think everybody goes through things in life, and we have an outlet to express it, and then we have a way to kind of relieve ourselves of feeling sad. Like, it's our job to make people laugh every day. Like, I'm around laughter all the time. So yeah, for me, it was definitely a way to to offset sadness. Like I told you, my mom was going through shit about my uncle passing away.
Right.
Was that therapeutic feeling, reciprocated for you too? So you make other people laugh and it makes you feel good?
Yeah, definitely. Black people don't go to therapy anymore. We don't get help for the shit that we go through. We go to comedy shows. Like, we just kind of deal with the stressful shit that life gives us, when in reality we should get help. Like, that's why there's help out there.
Yeah.
And we literally go through like the most stressful, crazy things, divorces, deaths, miscarriages, whatever, and we just think that we Iron Man, and it's not affecting us, when it probably is. You're probably not operating at 100%. And you might need to lay on somebody's couch and get that out of you and learn how to control your emotions and stuff like that. But we don't, we be going through shit and we're like, you know what, I need to laugh shit before I slap the shit out of somebody.
That's kind of what podcasts were for me. Like, when I was going through my shit, I was also in therapy too, like the Talkspace app. And podcasts for me, like the amount of information and laughs I could get were like that escape.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that. Like, do you ever like go through moments of depression? Or even some anxiety or anything like that?
Oh, sure, of course. Depression, I mean, because of deaths. Yeah, so yeah, that's depressing as shit. But I feel blessed that I have a job like this, to where, like, even so I can't get lost in sadness when I'm always being happy or sharing happiness.
You never like force it? Like, was like ever a night where you just have to like push through it?
True.
Well, yeah. I had to do a show like 3 days after my dad's funeral.
Oh, wow.
So, oh my God, it was an important show, so I couldn't not do it. It was at a comedy club. So I had my little makeup artist there, and she had to do my face so many times because I was crying, and she just patting the tears dry, and that shit caking up on my face. I'm looking crazy as hell, but I wound up having a great set though.
Yeah,
I ripped, and then I bombed like 2 days later because I was crying again, and I didn't pull through that time. That was another bomb. Oh, it was bad. Oh,
that's really understandable, though.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like being on stage is like constant therapy. Like, you're venting. Like, if you have any personal problems you put into your bits or whatever, like, you can get that out on stage and it'll affect people's consciousness.
Sure. Yeah. And then, the audience members too. It's people in the audience that's going through shit. Yeah. And they'll tell you, like, hey, I lost my goddamn job. And I was sad or I lost my dad or this happened or whatever. Like people, I needed that. Thank you so much. Like damn, like me just making you laugh, made your day better. Like thank you, like dang, that made my day better.
Right.
That's what's up.
Like it's been a lot of times when people come to a comedy show like after a funeral, like literally still dressed in black. Like why are y'all here? Oh my God.
They need some type of light.
How the fuck am I about to make y'all laugh though? Like y'all just came
pressure.
Yeah, they was it was insane pressure.
Yeah.
But I was up for the task though, cause I knew, how important that was gonna be to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause they was all boo-hooing outside before the show. I'm like, this shit is about to be ugly.
Oh Lord.
Do you write down your jokes and then memorize them and perform them, or do you just go off rip? Like,
I write them down. I write down jokes all the time. I write every day, all day.
Who do you test your jokes on? Like before you use them for the stage, like do you have people you test your jokes on? If they laugh, it's like, oh, you just be ready to go.
I put them on stage immediately.
Oh wow, okay.
So I host my own show. I host a show in Brooklyn every Wednesday. You guys make sure you come out.
Where's it at? Where at?
Sure.
It's at Essence Lounge. 1662 Atlantic Avenue. It's off like Atlantic and Troy. Every Wednesday, Women Crush Wednesday, hosted by me and Kelly. Kelly Kells. It's a free show and it's dope. I have like comedians from all over the world, like they come out. Like when comedians come into like New York and they're looking for spots to go to, like they know that Essence is gonna be lit. It's gonna be a dope crowd, and they come through. Like I had 2 comedians from Oakland last week. I've had comedians from Hawaii. Like it be dope. So I have to talk about something new every week.
right.
That's a great way to stay sharp.
Yeah, because
practice,
I get the same people that come out to the show every week. I got
So you have to,
yeah. So I'm talking about current events. I'm talking about shit that happened in the family, or or whatever, or whatever's going on in my relationship. They know all my business. They do, cause I just talk about it. Fuck it, like it's me. It's what's going on. This nigga ain't come home last night, bitch. Y'all. So if I ain't here next week, I done stabbed this nigga. Please put some on the bitch books.
When you put content out there, like, are you receptive to like negative criticism? Like, how do you take that when you get that?
I don't usually get it.
Cause she funny, damn it. Didn't she tell you?
She good. She
I'm
good.
just saying
the
that
whole hour
there
so
are
far.
some trolls out there who's like, oh, your shit suck. I mean, if they don't give you a reason why, it's not valid. But I'm just saying, like,
She says SMD.
Yeah, I don't say that. I don't have a dick, so I don't tell guys to suck my dick. It's so disrespectful. I don't get a lot of negative feedback on comedy. I'm pretty lit.
or maybe just any criticism. Like, has there anyone come up to you and be like, maybe you should adjust the delivery of this joke a certain way, or maybe how you none of that?
I mean, other comedians, we work together, so I've had, comedians that I work with, that some people who have mentored me, like, hey, you should do this, or, to definitely help me along my career. I toured with Michael Blackson for a while.
Oh, dope. He's funny as hell.
Yeah, that's my dude. I toured with him on and off for like 3 or 4 years.
Yo, are you rich?
No.
Why you ask that?
No, because mentioned like 3 different tours that she did over her lifetime, and I feel that's a lot of money. Like, I'm not trying to count your pockets, but
it's a lot of money for the headliners. It is not a lot of money for the openers.
why is that?
Because they're the draw.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the draw. The people are there to see them. The people don't even know I'm going to be there.
I feel like the openers are kind of more important, or just as important as the headliner, because they're softening the blow, I guess, like getting the crowd ready, getting the crowd amped up for the main person.
Nah, I mean the way the comedy world works. I mean they pay us, a standard fee. It don't matter. Like if you get a dope headliner, they will throw you some extra money, and then that's cool. But if not, it ain't terrible. Like a weekend maybe like $1,000. But if you sell merch, you can make another $2,000.
Yeah.
You know, like merch is what helps us, you know, to make it worth it. Cause other than that, it ain't like great, but it's, you know, it's cool. Like, I love the experience. I sell shit. People like to buy your shit. I got a bunch of T-shirts out there.
Have you gotten a lot of support from your family through this whole process? Like, do they come to your shows?
Oh yeah. My family comes out.
That's
and
what's up. I think that's so important.
And I got a big family. Yeah, my when I do go home to Chicago, you know, like I can sell out. Like
that's how it should be.
Yeah, like my mom's side, my dad's side. My dad passed away. It's been 2 years, but his side like used to come out, you know. So,
Yeah,
but they still do even when my dad's not there.
That's because if you can't go back in your own city and sell out, there's definitely a disconnect between you and your content and your people.
Man, it's. I haven't lived in Chicago in so long too, so it really took a lot of effort for me to build my fan base there because I didn't start comedy in Chicago. I started comedy here,
New York.
So I'm technically a New York comedian.
It was after like that 8-week program that you did your first like New York show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did my first show in New York, and then I worked with Capone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I worked under Capone for like a couple months, but he sucks.
Has it ever been kind of like a crabs in a barrel feeling when it came to this journey? You know what I'm saying? Because like it's definitely like that when it comes to music. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever felt like certain people were trying to keep you from opportunities, or have you faced a lot of challenges being a female comedian?
Of course, there are challenges being attractive.
Go ahead, sis.
I mean, I'm cute, shit.
Don't shoot me.
You cute.
So yeah, there's challenges, but it's like, to me, it was like in any other realm of business that I worked in. You know what I'm saying? Like, comedy ain't no different than sales, than the military. Niggas want pussy.
Okay.
So I've learned how to curve niggas from a child. So my curveball game is amazing. It's crazy.
What's like their game?
My
like,
friend zone.
Yeah, what's the craziest approach somebody's ever had?
Like, you want to come on this tour with me, and then they try to like finesse and try to get some pussy. Like,
Yep.
Just like that. I know. I read
Just like
Tiffany's
that.
book. In Tiffany's book, she said it was like that for her.
Yeah, it was just like that.
That's trash.
Yeah. Like, and then, like, you know, sometimes they'll let you do a couple shows. And then after you don't give up
off the tour.
No cat, you gone.
That's crazy.
That's trash. They try to make you feel like you owe them, and then
That's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's
that's nice.
like, nah, I can't do that. I can't be out here raking up bodies in the comedy world.
Right.
Like, and you lame. You don't even know how to get it. Like, there's a way to get this pussy up out of me. Like, but that ain't it.
That's extortion.
Do they have
you're not about to extort this pussy up out of me. You can get it. It's possible.
Shit.
But
Finesse
finesse it. Get your finesse game up here.
Finesse, don't extort.
Is being funny like a prerequisite to get the pussy? Do they have to be as funny as you, or maybe?
Where do you like more serious
For real, because
guys?
you're already a comedian. So before,
question.
it was
Yeah,
just like,
I don't even like funny guys.
That would make sense.
So,
you want to be with somebody that's the
yeah.
opposite
That's
of
less
you.
pressure too.
Yeah.
If you don't gotta be funny. We just
Because
gotta be
you guys
ourselves.
would end up competing if y'all was both.
I never dated or needed that in a personality trait for a dude. Like, my dudes are usually very mild mannered, you know. They're,
My
you know,
dudes.
they like, you know, like they're silent but firm. You know, like they manly men, but they be in the background just like real low key. You know, 'cause I'm aggressive. So, and I got a mouth on me. So I don't need nobody else with mouth too. Like, two mouths don't go together. Like, let me have a mouth.
So you just okay. You want a punching bag, basically.
No, you know what? Like, the one that got away. I fucked up. I did. He was perfect, and I thought all niggas would get me like him, and they can't. I haven't met another one since my one that got away.
What happened?
I moved. He was in He was in Atlanta, and I moved here to New York, and the long distance didn't work.
Aw.
The long
You still in
distance.
contact with him? Like when you go down there?
No, he's married.
Damn.
A bitch scooped his ass.
Already.
Oh, that bitch took my nigga. She took him. Oh, I was
shit.
thinking I'm going to save up and buy him back. No, for real. I was going to make this bitch an offer. Like, listen, like, I ain't fucked up and let you scoop my little nigga up. I'm going to need to get that back about you.
Oh man.
What's like your relationship life now? Like, since you're touring and stuff, you're doing all this comedy and stuff. Like, do you have time to have a relationship?
I have time. Do I have one? No.
Yeah, think about that.
Does he know that?
Right.
Okay, so I mean, I have a situationship,
Heard
Okay.
you. Okay.
but we not. Are we together? Are we a couple? No.
Okay.
And yeah, he know that.
That's understandable.
Does he know or do you?
Yeah, he
Okay.
know.
He's aware.
He don't. Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, that's we're more like friends with benefits than anything.
The best.
Yeah. Like so, like, but that's like my folks.
Laney's
Boy,
face was
it's
hilarious. The way you said the best.
Because it's mad healthy. Like, you don't know, like.
Got a whole
just-
relationship over there.
Yo.
No, but
Like he
I
can
do.
relate.
From past experiences,
Hey yo.
friends with benefits
The best.
is very healthy. Anyways,
Goddamn.
so how did your transition into getting on like the Maja Hype show, and how did that start? Like,
I got booked on a show with Major from Michael Blackson. Michael Blackson had hooked me up with a promoter that was doing a show. He needed a feature in the Bahamas. So he gave him my link and stuff, and I wound up getting on the show in the Bahamas. We had a dope show. He's like such a celebrity in like the Caribbean islands. Like
see that?
we were like total celebrities. Like when I got off the plane, like it was billboards and shit up me up.
That's so cool.
Of the
That's
flyer from
dope.
the show, like it was for Major, but I was on that bitch. Goddamn it. So we did the news, we did radio. So I was on the news in the Bahamas and the radio, and it was just dope. Tommy from Martin was there.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. It was so crazy because during my set, I could hear him laughing, like,
I love his
and
laugh.
the crowd wasn't close to the stage,
Right.
so the stage was kind of far away from. So I could hear that laugh. He actually laughs like that. That ha 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 ha
That's
ha, and I'm like, that sounds like Tommy. And then I met him after the show, and he was just like, "You was so great," and he was like, "You are gonna be great," and blah blah blah, and he was giving me so many compliments, but I was so drunk. I would have took his number or tried to work with him or something, but I was I think I drank a half a bottle of Hennessy or some shit.
Sheesh.
I was done. I was so nervous. Like when I get nervous, doing stand up is nerve wracking, especially a crowd in the Caribbean islands, and it was a big crowd too. I mean, it was probably like 600 or 700 people.
Yeah, so you don't really do anything sober, or do you?
No.
The way she said it though.
No.
I respect it.
No.
I respect it. Some people need to create sober. Some people need to create.
I have done sober shows, and I was really proud of myself. I didn't think I could do a good show sober because I'm so much funnier drunk. I just am. I'm more relaxed, and I give less of a fuck. So but yeah, I was so mad that I was so drunk. I was like, shit. I didn't get no picture with him or nothing.
Yeah, no selfies.
You have the memory though. You
I-
have the story, which is even better.
True.
Yeah, memories.
True.
That's what the Hennessy does to you. You just don't do the shit you want to do. You just do. You let it control you.
Yeah, and it is another story, but the host of that show too, he had never done stand up before, ever. That was his first show. I'm like, why would y'all put him on this big ass stage
For his
first fucking show? Like, that doesn't set me up good. But he actually did a good job.
I was about to say.
He did good. He did good. I coached him on how to bring me up, on what to say. He was so nervous. He was drunk too. Everybody drunk.
Y'all two drunk people helping each other.
But Major was drunk. We was all drunk.
At least y'all showed up.
They
Shit.
got a
Right.
show
In the right place.
sponsored by Hennessy.
Make it happen.
Hennessy did that show for y'all.
Wait, hold up. So like, whoever goes
That's
before you sets up how you're like, how the pace for how you're gonna perform.
Sure.
It matters.
Yeah.
But even if you're good enough to control the crowd, it doesn't matter regardless how.
Yeah, if you're good enough, you can overcome it, but it doesn't help if you gotta fight some shit, you know, because this nigga done bombed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I wanna get on stage and catch the wave.
They already smiling,
Yeah,
laughing.
they already
giggling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I want. I'm not.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I mean,
just
that
thought
makes sense though, because you don't want to step on a stage to a crowd that's mad. They
Yeah.
just pissed off. They ain't laugh.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but
you wanna catch the wave. That's why like a good host is important. That's why my show in Brooklyn is so dope.
Wednesdays.
I'm
Wednesdays.
definitely trying to
Essence
see.
Lounge.
I'm gonna go.
Free?
Yeah.
Free?
She said
Free,
it's free.
free
Free is for me.
99.
What?
For me too.
Free 99.
What?
1662 Atlantic Avenue. Yeah.
Essence.
It's
Every
dope.
Wednesday, y'all.
Every
That's
Wednesday. Women Crush
Atlantic
Wednesday
Avenue.
starts 8:30 sharp. White people time.
Also, yeah.
So just the touring and stuff like that built up, like I guess your resume, and that's how you get into the acting.
Yeah. So Major, how I got on his show. I mean, I've just done a bunch of shows with him. I've done a lot of theater shows with him.
Makes sense to add you to the fold.
And so so when he got the deal for BET, I was one of the first people that he called.
That's dope.
The
What was
power of networking.
Yeah.
Keeping your connections.
Did you do like any acting like that before, or any type of show like that?
No. I've done like Instagram stuff.
Oh, like skits and stuff.
Yeah, I've done like Instagram skits, but nope, I hadn't done any acting before. I took a few acting classes. I'm starting to do more now because I have to. My manager is forcing this on me.
What do you? Oh, my bad. Were you about to say
No,
something?
go ahead, ask.
What do you feel is like your biggest success so far in your journey in comedy? Like, what's a milestone you could look back and be like, "Damn, yeah, I did that shit."
Good job, Sierra.
I did a show. Well, I don't know. I've worked with some people who I've like been like fans of, in comedy, and they in turn became fans of mine, and that was like monumental to me. Like something like small.
But I can understand how that means a lot.
So I got to work with D.L. Hughley.
Oh,
That's one of my
lit.
favorites. He's very underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's so lit.
Yeah, so I met him in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing a show at the Improv, and I was doing a show at the Laugh Factory, which was sold out, by the way, because he was in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? That's
Of
what
course.
the Red Assassin does.
Hometown hero.
That's what's up.
And he was, and I went to see him at the Improv, and he was like, "Hey, I saw you on a flyer out here." He was like, "You with Smokey at the Improv?" At the Laugh Factory. I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You know what?" He was like, "I heard you were really funny." He was like, I was like, well, thank you. I'm so honored, And he was like, you live in New York? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm going to be in New York, like, next week. He was like, are you busy next weekend? I'm like, nigga, if I was, I'm not no more. Like, shit.
Clear my damn schedule.
I'm canceling whatever the fuck I was doing. And so I was like, yeah, I'm free. I wasn't, but I was. And so I got to rock out with him here in New York at Levity Live. So that was really dope. And then we also did a show at Salsa Con Fuego in the Bronx. That was okay. So Rob Stapleton, do y'all know who Rob Stapleton is?
The name sounds very familiar.
Sounds mad
Director,
familiar.
right?
No.
Or no.
No, Rob Stapleton is a comedian.
Comedian, gotcha.
He's one of the New York Kings of Comedy. Like, they have a group, the New York Kings of Comedy, which is it's talent,
Okay, not yeah.
Rob Stapleton, Capone, Mark Vieira, and it was Drew Frazier, but I don't think he's on that tour no more. But anyway, but Rob Stapleton is a legend in New York. He's been doing comedy over 20 plus years. He did Def Jam, Comic View, Martin, Lawrence, First Amendment Stand Up, Bill Bellamy. He's done everything in comedy. He a legend in his own right. Rob is he do not fuck with rookie comedians. No matter how funny you are, you got to put skin in the game in order to get on his stage. That is just how he rock. I've been funny the whole time I've been a comedian. I didn't go through a real long struggle phase. I was funny off top. Just being honest, like some people like have years of struggle. I mean, I read books on comedy. I learned how to structure my jokes. I was already, I'm a well-traveled person. I have life experiences, so I wasn't like a kid with no life experiences getting on stage trying to make you laugh at my butt jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually had shit to say. And so I've been funny this whole time. I've been getting booked and touring and shit. I started touring with Blacks early in my career.
That's what's up, yo.
But Rob would not fuck with me. I stalked Rob Stapleton for 4 years. Almost 4 years. About 4 years. I stalked him for 4 years trying to get on his show. And he just kind of sunned me because he don't rock with rookies. And I finally got to do his show. And I destroyed that hoe. And he was like, that's what I've been waiting on. Like, nigga, I could have did this 4 years ago. The fuck is you talking about? I didn't have to stalk you for 4 years to do that. I could have been did it. But that was a big milestone for me because of how long it took me to get on the stage. It was
worthwhile.
Yeah, it took 4
years.
That's persistence.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, comedy is all about, like, patience. Like, stuff does not... If you're, like, a regular stand-up comic and not a Instagram famous one, because I'm not Instagram famous. I only got, like, 14,000 followers.
Right.
In the comedy world, that's 10 followers.
Real comedians don't look at these IG comedians as real talent, right?
No.
Okay.
They're not real comedians. Like the art of stand up, that's a real art form. That's a real
it's a craft.
Yeah. And there's no shortcut to learning stand up. There's no way to get a good set but being out there doing it. Like, you got to do a joke sometimes for months, for maybe even years before you get it right. Yeah. Like before you get it right within your set, before you get the right punchlines with it, like that's just what it is.
There's a clear-cut difference between like comedian and just someone who's funny, which is what these IG people are.
Because when you say IG people, like do you consider people like Just Hilarious an IG funny person or a stand-up comedian?
She's an IG funny person
who just tries to transition to stand-up comedian, maybe, or it's just or.
Well, she's doing stand-up now.
Yeah, but I got it. I just wanted to be sure.
She gets through a set, and she gets she has a nice fan base. Her people fuck with her. They really rock with her. So she gets the celebrity laughs, but it's when you go through her set, do you get like the structure of a comedy set that you would a veteran comedian? No. Are you getting like an authentic, authentic ideas and ideologies? Or is it thought provoking? Is it, do you get misdirection? Do you get like hilarious, like bust out laugh? Probably, no.
The difference is like they're performing for a phone, right? Like an audience through the phone, but you're performing with people, real live people who can react instantaneously as opposed to waiting for a comment to come through.
Right.
So I guess that's the main difference.
And on the Instagram, you can do as many takes as you need to make it funny.
Yeah.
You on stage, it's a one-hitter quitter.
It's interesting that you said thought-provoking because it wasn't until you said that just now. I just like replayed all the stand-up shows I used to watch, and I think it was a Chris Rock one. Till this day, I still think about like, yeah, this man had me really think like divorce is trash. But Yeah, so that's pretty okay. I like that point because I didn't realize that stand-up comedian is thought-provoking because there's a lot of stand-up comedians that have watched it. The stuff that they say, I still think about it to this day.
Are you memorable? Like, do you like? That's what Cat Williams was saying about Tiffany Haddish. What's your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
we still say
if you don't have a bit where people remember and are reciting it when you get off stage, you didn't do your job. Like I love when I get off stage and people be like, oh my God, girl, I can't believe you said. I'm glad you remembered because I probably went first in the show. So you remembered my joke after hearing 4-5 other comedians. That means something. That means I said something that stuck, and that's how you become great, when you can say something that people relate to so much that they, oh my God, when you said, you got to get those type of jokes.
You mentioned earlier that you don't like fame, like you don't want it, right? But like you're doing something that your career is just naturally going to increase where you're going to get it. So like,
I know.
What do you?
What sounds so exciting.
Funny. So it's just like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
It's inevitable.
She's just like, well, I'm gonna be cool about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, there are people who do their job and then can still separate from like the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like they still have a private life. Yeah. And I want to watch, I watch how they, maneuver to make sure that they keep their sanity, like that. Like I don't like just being in contact with so many different spirits and forces. Like I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like I got my close little circle and, I'm cool with that. Like all these extra, I just don't, I don't have time for it. So
Go ahead.
You seem to be prepared for when the fame will hit, and you also seem to give off an energy that I'm gonna be good. I'm still gonna, like, just like you said, you have that little section. You seem to be intent on keeping that section for yourself, not letting anybody in. So when that hits, that's where you'll be when it hits.
Yeah, I work off vibes, and I just, I don't need my water polluted. I just I just want to do me and, like focus on like getting me right and my family right and together.
And you seem like you have a consistent personality. Like I feel like you'll still be the same person no matter how much money you make later on. I don't know. Like I don't know you like that, but that's the vibe that I get. It's like she gonna keep it real, y'all. Like
I'm definitely
that's Mimi.
Never gonna change.
I feel like it's hard to maintain your integrity when you get certain dollars and certain amounts of commas in your check. You know what I mean?
That depends on the level of your integrity, no?
Preach.
That's
Preach,
very true.
Coco.
I mean, I'm
like
changing. So.
Yeah, like the.
You let us know now. Jeff is
Right?
changing, okay?
Yo, he gonna be on some Kanye West shit. I swear, yo.
Y'all ain't start with me.
Yo,
You come with me shooting in the gym.
Now, I was about to say.
Everyone who didn't believe, I'm coming for you. That ass. But I agree with them when you said. I feel like you will just maintain the same personality, the same aura.
Yeah, I'm gonna just have a bunch of guns.
A bunch of guns.
Yeah, I'm gonna just, you know what I'm saying, be chilling, doing stand up, doing what I love. I love doing stand up. Like that's my shit.
Do you want to graduate to like movies next, like after like this?
Yeah, I got a little role in I got the Hookup Part 2. What? My cousin directed that movie, actually. Shout out to Corey Grant.
Hey.
Dope.
So yeah, I got a little scene in there. I was Silk the Shocker's girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay. So is it still about the phones again, or what we doing now? Beepers. What's going on?
Yeah, you gotta check it out. And see it come out in May.
I was just watching that like 2 weeks ago. I got the hookup because that is like low key one of my favorite movies, especially when she shoots him in the ass after he. She's like, I'm gonna shoot you in your
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into feature films and even back on the other side of the camera too. I definitely still want to create like I have like 2 feature films that I want to get made too. So.
Did you have producer credits, writing credits, or the only like I feel like the next thing is for you to do everything all together. Like maybe have your own production company.
I do have a production company, Red Assassin Productions.
Look at this.
Yeah, I would pull out my credit card, but I forgot it at home.
How did that get created? Do you just put your own money up and you just get workers or assistants, or how does that work?
Are you looking for writers?
Yeah. I put my own money up. You know, you got to believe in you first. Nobody wants to invest in something that isn't invested in already.
Right.
You know, so yeah, just the shows that I produce, they get produced under my production company, like comedy shows and stuff. I produce shows everywhere, just wherever a bag is.
I think that's so dope because, you know, for the past few years, a lot of black actors and actresses have been talking about how we don't have enough black-owned production companies. And for you to say you have a production company is kind of dope to me right now. I'm just like, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, we got to do it ourselves. You know, like I'm a creator, so if I have an idea for something like a show or something, it's gonna go under my production company. You know, and then like whoever I add on to it, you know, they can be a co-producer or whatever. But if it's my brainchild, it's gonna go under my production company. I gotta own the rights to it. I know about business, cause that's where we be getting it fucked up. Like we'll have an idea. Oh, you can produce it under your shit. No, it's gonna be under my umbrella, and I'll bring you under.
You're so dope. It's not even funny right now.
Oh, I love it.
I have a question. Since you're from Chicago and everything that happened with what's his name?
Jesse Smollett.
I was going to mess up the whole name.
That's your boy.
Whose boy?
You.
No, I said from jump he was lying.
She did.
I was just like that. So you being from Chicago, when you first heard that story?
Okay, so I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to believe that he was lying because being from Chicago, I experienced a lot of racism. A lot. Like everybody from Chicago is really from Mississippi. Like so everybody from Chicago has like roots in Mississippi, and you know Mississippi was a slave state, so that same racism, you know, they used to hang niggas in Mississippi. Them same racist people live in Chicago now. You know, and like even like my grandparents, their roots come from Tennessee, Mississippi. But like after the Civil War, all the jobs for like the railroads, Ford Motor Company and factories, they were all in Chicago. So people migrated from the South up there. So that same hatred type of that is in Chicago too. The Klan is in Chicago.
I was not aware of. I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're there. So and I experienced like I went to a high school. I was the only black person in my graduating class. So I went to high school in this little town called Oak Forest. It's like a bubble. It's like Mayberry or something. Like the people that live there, they grow up there. They go to high school and college there, probably a junior college. They get a job there. They die there. They don't leave this little town, and it's all white, and they racist as shit. And they used to torture me like in high school, right on my locker, niggers. They used to call me niggers all the time. I would never know who it is because it's just a hallway full of white people. Yeah. Like it was, and that went on for 2 years. Like to the point where I'm not even like you guys are Facebook friends with people who you went to high school with, right? How many people from high school do you have on your Facebook? A lot, right?
A lot, yeah.
I don't have one. Not one from that school. And I went there for 2 years and graduated from there. So that tells you I didn't get invited to our 10-year reunion. I'm not in the yearbook. Like, they don't fuck with me at all.
Damn.
So
that is crazy.
So and but that's just a little small bubble. Where my mom moved, she had lost her fucking mind. She did not do no research before she moved us into this little town.
It must have been very like inexpensive, like to live there. Like,
the school is nice. It's a nice neighborhood. What you would think, but just because it's white, don't make it nice. White people are fucked up too.
So Chicago really is like the tale of two cities. It's like a really divided place. It's like one side is just all urban and the other side is just upkept. I'm trying to like paint a picture for me of Chicago.
There are sections, you know, like that city that I was talking about, Oak Forest and Oak Park, and it's white. It's mostly white people. The north side is all white people. Like Chicago, they tore down all the projects in the city, so that made like all the hood, the gangs, they flooded out to the suburbs. So the suburbs are bad. The city, like downtown, is, you know, it's buildings, it's expensive. It's like Manhattan. So you down there, you got money, but like it's the outskirts that are crazy.
Crazy. So it's like a Baltimore.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So, based off your experiences, you walked into the Jussie Smollett situation a bit hesitant?
Oh, okay. Back to Jussie.
I forgot about that now because she done took me this way.
Sorry. So I was like, you know what? Them crackers is crazy in Chicago. And everybody was like, he lying. I'm like, listen, these crackers wrote nigger on my locker every day for like 2 years. The crackers in Chicago is crazy. And so I wanted to believe him. All the stuff coming out, and you know, supposedly he bought the noose that was tied around his neck. It was on his Apple Pay or some shit.
And the two guys, they were extras on the set of Empire.
One of them is his personal trainer.
Yeah.
When he did the interview with Robin, I was just like,
something about the interview I noticed. I was cringing because he didn't say specific words.
Did you
notice?
When he said, but I punched him right back?
Yeah, I did.
I died.
I didn't see any bruises on him either, by the way.
I'm not in the man's brain, but there were certain words it seemed like he was attempting to avoid saying, but at the same time still come across as this is what occurred. I don't know.
Right. So I hate to say this, but him lying about it, now I think he was lying. Now I think he was lying, and I think it's some typical gay people shit to do. Like that's typical homo shit. Like
for them to lie.
I mean, they petty like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like gay dudes, like they be like they're like super exaggerated. Their relationships be like super violent. Like niggas stab each other all the time in gay relationships. They be, you know, like cause they're emotional. You know, so gay dudes be emotional. That was the lady in him that was like, you know what?
The rumor was that he was about to get kicked off Empire, and that's why he's trying to build some sort of hype to, I guess, be a cushion for him after he got fired.
Yeah.
So his music would be built up off this support train he would get from the situation, but didn't work out, Jussie.
Yeah,
and they cut his screen time too on Empire.
Yeah.
On one of the new episodes, he's supposed to be in like 9 different scenes. They cut it down to like 3.
Damn.
So I think he fucked up. You lied about something. I mean, people lie sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You got caught up in this lie. I hope he, you know, overcomes it and still is able to have a good career. Like, I don't think.
Oh no, he could go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can overcome it in jail, and, you know. He might have the time of his life in there, honestly.
Don't say that.
He might drop you soap on purpose every time.
I'm done.
He might have the time
remember
of
you
his
years
life.
ago when Kevin Spacey came running out of some park in the UK, I think in London or something like that. He came out half naked and supposedly said that he got robbed in the park. Anybody remember that?
No.
So he'll be all right. Nobody remembers that? That was it, dead in the news, and it was a big thing.
Damn.
And nobody remembers it.
No.
Yeah.
And I feel like, Kevin, if you came out the park naked, your booty call went
came
wrong.
Yeah, and he was like, he was robbed, and everybody's like, all right, you were robbed, but why did they take your clothes?
Right.
Like,
He
why?
was
And then it came
park.
out later that, you know, he was...
Oh, he was destined
having
to
fun.
get fucked up or get his
And
career
you
done.
got robbed by
Leave
your
him alone,
John.
Jussie will be all right.
Yeah.
I hope
he'll be
I actually hope he isn't, because now he's playing with the emotions of like, these are real situations that happen that
people.
don't get hurt.
But I do think that people should start, you know, getting away for the facts before they just deem people. I've always said he was lying. Now, if he was telling the
did.
truth, I gotta sit here and be like, well, you know, guys, I'm sorry. That's my fault. I should have, you know, waited for the facts. But I do feel like in this instance, when everybody was just like, oh, damn these white people. And then I think 3 days later, they had a screenshot of 2 suspects. And I'm like, they don't look white to me.
That's what I'm saying. That's the biggest red flag.
Like, okay, now what do you
confused
want
with
me
that
to do?
And they're African.
And
You know what I'm saying?
And you know them, like
come
You
on,
follow them on
bruh.
Instagram, my nigga. That's how they even
Come
found them.
on,
yeah,
bruh.
but the whole. You know what? I'm mad at those guys for not telling Jesse that was a bad idea.
Right, they had
Like
bad judgment.
y'all came in and really thought like y'all was gonna get away with that. Like you were walking at 2:00 in the morning in Chicago by yourself. You're a A-list celebrity instead of like Uber Eats. Like
Going to fucking Subway? Who does that?
Subway still open at 2 a.m.? I
Who
didn't
does
know.
that?
Subway be 24 hours, but in Chicago,
Subways at?
For real.
Chicago, we are known for our food, our late night food. You can throw a rock and find a mom and pop spot that is the shit and has the best food you ever had in your life. Our food is amazing. It's way better than New York. I'm sorry you guys have to eat this shit
I
here.
believe it.
Wait, no, but
I
no.
mean-
Deep dish pizza is trash. I'm sorry.
We're not gonna do the pizza. Okay.
I think it just depends on preference, actually. I think it depends on the person.
But
I'm saying it's trash. It's not pizza. It's
we have
pasta.
trash deep dish New
Our-
York, I think.
I think in
I'm
general, it's
our-
just a
our-
trash
Our
choice.
flat pizzas are good too. Don't.
We went from
don't-
I didn't even
violence to
know- I didn't even
pizza.
know-
I
Right.
just want y'all to know.
Right.
I'm trying to transition. trying to transition out of the
The
violence.
two very important topics are pizza.
So
and
yeah,
violence.
the fact that you were in Chicago and looking for a Subway is insane. No one believes
Yeah.
that.
And then he waited 45 minutes to even call the cops.
Because he called Lee Daniels first.
Man, Monique was right, man.
I told y'all, listen, Monique, you know what she talking about with
What?
Lee Daniels.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's
You called
crazy,
Lee
yo.
first.
Jesse's
yeah.
canceled, man.
So Jesse,
he's gonna
I
be
don't
canceled
know.
after this. I don't
Yeah,
know,
I hope he,
They're not
like
canceled.
people
They're not
make
canceled,
mistakes.
Yeah, he's
I don't.
not canceled.
Yeah,
so?
like
He's not canceled.
yeah. I think yeah. I
If they
don't
find
wanna-
out that it's all fabricated and it was 100% a lie.
He's still not
And she
canceled.
just said the Kevin thing. I forgot all about the Kevin thing. I still like Kevin Spacey. Touching
Yeah.
19-year-olds and all. Like,
Ooh.
He doesn't look creepy to you
It's
now?
not illegal.
He looks a little creepy now. He looks
I
a
mean,
little
he looks
creepier
more gay
than normal.
now. That's about it.
And that's the thing. Like before all of that, I
He
honestly
always
never
looked
knew
like that,
Kevin
though.
Spacey was gay.
But
Like
that's the
I
thing.
never
So
knew.
before Kevin came, like I feel like Hollywood, they have all these little blindgossip.com guys. I keep telling y'all. Kevin Spacey was like one of those people who everybody in Hollywood knew he was gay because he was never
Oh.
married. It was just like he always just stuck to himself. So everybody kind of knew what he was. I just don't think everybody knew he had a young man fetish.
Y'all know too much about Kevin Spacey for me. I did not know any of this.
Blindgossip.com.
That's
I
crazy.
feel like we could have looked at him and been able to tell that he had a young man fetish if we really analyzed it. If we really
But it
thought
wasn't
about
Nobody got
like
time for that.
was it
Nobody
like
got time for that. That's
14?
true.
Was it R. Kelly young or just a legal young 18? That creepy white people young.
I think what was
They
it?
still
Not-
ladder.
It was
they
like
still
18, 19.
Yeah, it's like they prefer high school people still.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I
like
think it was a
18?
couple little situations. One situation, I think the guy was 17.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
'Cause his
And that
mom,
happened
I
like,
think,
and I think it was
testified.
like it
The
happened
mom
like
testified
years ago, when Kevin first came out, when he was still doing Broadway in New York.
Okay.
And was
And
still
then
playing
this one
straight.
he got caught up
I think
because
so.
it's like more of an assault.
Tripping.
I'm for cancel. I'm for cancel culture when it's like for certain people like this, like when they do like these malicious things and these dirty things. Like, yeah, I'm all for you.
That's
being
why I say
canceled.
Jesse is not canceled. I feel like he's done some damage, but it'll be more damage on him.
It was like desperate. Like,
Right?
he was pushing the corner. He didn't want to lose his role.
But the
That's
story was
pretty
so
whack.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. Like somebody should have smoked a blunt with him and like,
So,
hey,
nah,
yo,
that ain't
And
it,
then don't
Man,
man.
gotta
forget,
do
he
this.
got a letter in
we
the
can
mail.
do something else. We can do something else. Let's put a sex tape out. That always works.
Fam, no one's watching Empire anyways. It's all good. Like,
Do you guys think he'll still get the same support from the LGBTQ community?
They support any goddamn body.
Even the fact that he was using his position, like,
Lesbian over here. They support every fucking body.
that's
okay?
crazy.
Let me tell you about the LGBT. They not for, you see this color? They not for this. They
Mhm.
for the white man who can't get a baby and he got all the money to get the baby. That shit was never made for us. Because if that's the case, it wouldn't be so many homeless youth out here who got kicked out the house because they're gay. There'll be somewhere for them to go, but there's nowhere for them to go because that group does not care. But yeah, that's that.
Damn.
what'd you think about a few months ago? The clip came out with Louis C.K. and Chris Rock. Like Louis was saying the N-word and Chris was just going with it. Like, did that affect your take on them? Either of them?
I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't.
I
Oh,
didn't.
So
There
the
was-
next question is, do comedians get a pass on the N-word, no matter the race?
No. I don't think so.
I feel like the argument would be that it's a joke. It's funny. I feel like that'd be the argument.
That's a good question. That's tasty.
I don't know. I grew up around like racism, so I don't like to see white people say the N word.
Period.
Just me personally, I don't like that shit. I
Be-
want to fight.
Even in that clip I mentioned, Chris Rock was he was I guess fueling the fire. He was still going with the joke.
And what was he saying? I gotta look that up. He said the N word.
Yeah, he was using it in context of like a joke, and then Chris was like, he was kind of going with it. It was like, yeah, niggas, blah blah blah, like, and it kind of sparked a little attention towards Chris because you black at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Seinfeld was in that same clip, and he was like, nah, I never would really use the N word in any joke that I've ever done. Like, that's not my style. But Louis and Chris were just going with it.
Damn it. That's messed up. If Jerry said, if Jerry had enough damn common sense to say that.
Jerry Seinfeld was the only one talking sense in that
Jerry's
clip.
Jewish.
Yeah.
I think he has enough. You know what I mean? At least I would hope in that sense.
And Louis, like, you are just getting out the fire for pulling your dick out
Right.
on your interns, and now you want to drop the N-bomb. I think you should tread lightly, my guy. Like, your little leprechaun fucking luck is running out, buddy. Like, you can get canceled.
What about comedians like Michael Rappaport and
Nah, you can't say it neither.
but he has a black wife.
I didn't know that.
I don't give a damn.
Me neither. I just want it's just one of those things. Like, me neither, but
That don't matter to me. You still can't say it.
Speaking of him, y'all heard him talking crazy about Meek Mill.
yeah, that's what
So
made
he's
me
a
bring it up.
trash
He
rapper.
just started trending
what was
again.
that about?
Doesn't he have a podcast too? He's just trying to be clickbait. Is that not it?
Yeah, he's
Pretty sure.
He apologized today.
But he
though.
always talks out of context when it comes
Did
to
you
us.
call him a comedian? Does he get on stage?
I think he does.
I don't know.
I think he does.
No.
I wouldn't know.
I don't
Michael
believe
Rappaport.
so.
I think he's gotten on stage before.
I think he thinks he's funny.
Well,
I
he's
don't
no,
think
he
he's a
no, my bad.
comedian.
He's an actor. He's in movies.
He's an actor.
He's in movies.
He's definitely a movie.
Okay,
movie,
so he's,
so-
Tall
he's an
white guy.
actor. Y'all
No,
be
not
throwing
one.
that comedian.
The Owens. Think of
Yeah.
Owen. Owen has a
term
brother.
yeah.
That's not him.
so loosely.
It's the Owen boy.
So a comedian is strictly someone who's on for the craft on stage.
Tell the people now
different
what
clubs.
a comedian is.
A stand-up comedian is someone who has a crafted set and does stand-up comedy for a living. Their set is about them. It's about their life, their thought processes, their outlooks on relationships or politics or whatever it is. It's them. Like, so, and a stand-up set has, it's a structured way to have a set. You have your callbacks, your act outs, your misdirection. I'm talking about something and then I lead you in a whole nother direction. Like there's a structure to how you have a set. So when you have a structured set and you're making a living off comedy, you are a comedian.
And I have a question, right? In your bio, when I checked on Instagram, I saw an interesting word that I never seen before, which is comedian-y or something like that.
A comedian?
Yeah, what is that? 'Cause-
Comedian?
Yeah, no, like explain what that means.
How
So
it's spelled?
It's COMEDIENNE.
I feel old.
That is the female version.
Yes.
Right, I looked it up, but for the listeners, can you explain that word? Because I never knew there was.
Comedian. Yeah, there's a comedian, COMEDIAN.
Yeah.
That is a man.
I had no idea.
A comedian
Exactly.
is a man. A comedian is a female.
And the reason I bring that up is because we all commonly refer to females as comedians.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah.
But there wasn't too long ago where it was comedians and comedian. Well, there wasn't that many comedians.
I just started
But-
watching Mrs. Maisel on Amazon, so it's just like when seeing you today, I'm just thinking about that whole getup she had to go through, and it's just like, okay, this is interesting. Never knew it was too.
I didn't know that either. I looked it up today on dictionary.com.
Is it even necessary to distinguish it? Like, I mean, I feel like
Actor and actress. It's
What's your
kinda
preference?
like-
In other
Yes,
words, what's your
but-
preference? You prefer comedian? Comedian doesn't matter to you.
It doesn't matter to me, but I mean, I know the correct verbiage, so I'm
Right.
gonna use it.
Say it again.
That's
Right.
true, yeah.
Yeah, say it again. I want to learn it.
Comedian.
Comedian.
Mhm.
Mean. I got mean.
Got
I'm
it.
trying to get it.
About the other comedian.
What do y'all think about like the recent backlash that like Burberry and Gucci are receiving for like the type of clothing they're using with that's like suggestive of like blackface? Burberry had like I have the picture right here, a noose, yeah,
Oh my god.
a noose on the hoodie.
Motherfuckers.
Let me see. I didn't see that.
Like
That's crazy.
I don't buy none of
it's
that
Black
shit
History
anymore.
Month still, by the way, and this is all coming out. It's literally a perfect marketing tool.
Yeah, it's clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You worked in sales. Have you ever
That's
had to do anything
crazy.
like this?
Nah, I don't got to do nothing like that. In sales, like for me, I just, I did my research.
I don't understand why. It's like perfect timing. Like,
I mean,
crazy
I think
timing.
it's always been there. It's
I
always
think
been
it's
there.
them
It's
trying to
just
remind
more.
us that we're not here for you, and when will you get the point?
But like it's like guaranteed outrage, right? So it's guaranteed attention for them as well. So
Exactly.
but people still are giving them attention.
Yeah.
It just kills me the irony behind it. Of
You know,
how,
all the broke people still giving them attention. You see, Floyd made money. His
Yeah.
ass still went into Gucci because you know what?
Yeah.
It don't matter to him
Kodak
because
Black, yeah.
it's just like it doesn't matter to them. So people who don't have any money, yeah, we're screaming boycott Gucci, but our asses was never in there to begin with.
right.
So it's just like it doesn't apply to us. And again, I feel like these fashion houses are doing this to constantly remind us we do not make this for you.
And the irony behind it, we're
because
the
you can
biggest
afford
consumers
it, yeah.
of it. Yeah.
I don't still think we're the biggest.
Not the biggest consumers,
yeah.
but I'm talking about as far as like when it comes to
For Gucci,
black people
yeah,
with
I'll
money.
say Gucci. We're probably the
Yeah.
biggest consumer for Gucci.
Because
Yeah.
people who don't even have the money but have enough credit to buy it,
'Cause I
they'll go
had a-
bankrupt to buy some Gucci.
I had a white woman tell me Gucci's for the black people, for the poor people. It's not, it's not for her rich ass.
I feel like these rich
I've
people
heard that
don't,
before too.
Yeah.
Same thing with Louis V.
because like look who's really wearing like the Gucci, right? Like these rappers that like get in a lot of trouble, like Soulja Boy, just for example, whatever, right? So I feel like these brands don't want that representation for their product.
They don't.
So I
But
feel
they'll
like,
take their money.
of course, but nobody.
I read this quick story. Cardi B was at the Grammys. So I'm gonna say the fashion house wrong. Mugler, M-U-G, yeah.
Theory
Mugler.
Mm-hmm.
Her people asked, can they get in the vote beforehand, like maybe 2 years ago. They told her no. The minute she got nominated for all the Grammys and it was, oh hey yeah, now you could come into our vote. We'll dress you.
Mm.
But before then, they wouldn't even think twice about it.
It's all about reputation.
So it's about it is about the representation.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta earn that. Like, it's not. She was an Instagram person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Not a comedian.
all of this. All of these things that you are getting right now are a blessing anyway. So just because you didn't get one thing, nobody's trying to slight you. You ain't earned that.
Yeah.
Like, people put a lot of skin in the game to get where they got, and you have been able to skate through a lot of shit. So you being snubbed at one thing, you got a Grammy, your first album, your first, you got all these awards because you were an Instagram person first. You had 1 million followers before you dropped an album.
Sure
So
did.
these people rock with you, like a social media following, that's a real core hard, like these people check to see what you doing all day.
the time, yes. So, cool. With that being said, oh damn, I lost it. Damn. Should we get upset that brands choose to keep their brands exclusive, meaning they don't want us to kind of perpetrate their brand, like they don't want us in it in a sense? Should we get upset because it's their brand?
There's levels
You know
to
who
this.
you
Nah,
want to. You know who
listen.
you want to wear your stuff.
At the end of the day, I think this stuff is like wake up calls for us to support black businesses.
Yes.
Yes.
Like you don't gotta question whether I want you in it or not. This is for you. So I make it a point to buy black. The person that does my PR is black, my manager is black. I date black men. If I'm getting my hairstyles is black, my MUAs are black. Like, I rock with us. I try to keep my dollar in black businesses. I eat in black restaurants. I try to get my nails done in a black nail salons. So I make a conscious effort to keep our dollar in our community because other races do that. They
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
sure that they money stay
That's true.
with them, and that's the only way that we'll know for sure that we're supporting us is when we support us.
I feel like that's very admirable. We all should do that, but at the same time, like depending on where you live, like Killer Mike did this Netflix thing where
Yeah.
the first I think the
love
first
that
episode he
episode.
tried to only go to black-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't find like a black-owned like grocery store or shit like that, right? So I feel like depending where you live, it's kind of really hard to find black-owned business. I mean, maybe even New York, it might even be harder than you expect.
And
Right.
another thing that I've noticed.
It is hard, but that is why I feel like when you can, you do it.
Right.
And I also encourage black people to start their own businesses. Like I have my production company. I'm gonna open up a restaurant and some other stuff. Like we're gonna keep this, this train rolling, and I'm gonna encourage other people to do it and learn about real estate and learn about business, so we aren't so far behind. Like it's time for us to own shit.
Right.
And take pride in that. So.
And I feel like also like when we are buying black, we gotta stop looking for the hookup.
Discounts, yeah.
Like that shit is mad annoying because I know a
Yeah.
lot of black entrepreneurs where they work really hard at what they do, but people are always stifling them on the price. Like, yo, you think you could do it for this? I'm just like, yo, but if I was a different color, you wouldn't even question that. You
No
know what I'm
homie
saying?
discounts.
Like, why are you
No
asking for a
homie
homie discount
discounts.
just because? And I mean, yeah, I know we black and I want you to support me, but pay this fee. You know what I'm saying? I got bills like you got bills. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I
It's
think we
insulting
gotta
even
stop
to be
that.
asked, is what you're
Yeah.
insinuating.
We gotta stop doing that.
You've done a lot, you're doing a lot, and you plan to do even more. Like, what advice do you give to upcoming creators and comedians, like, to get to that level of comfort in doing the things they want to do?
Just I would say it's important to have like good mentors. I've worked in business before. I went to school, so I move around how I move around because I've had life experiences to know how to move around like that. So if it's something that you want to do, to really work hard at it, study it, and find someone who is where you want to be and mirror them and see how they are successful. You like each one teach one. I've had some dope mentors who just taught me, about the game, and so I just like, I took that, added my own little spice to it, and kept it moving. So if you're serious about this, don't be afraid to put in the groundwork. Don't be afraid to start in entry level and just play your position and work your way up into anything that you want to do. If you want to work in fashion, like intern. If you got to drive for Uber and work in fashion for free, but if this is what you love, do that. But learn whatever it is your craft is, and then jump into it. And just make sure you're passionate about it. Make sure that it's something that you love. And that way you never have to work again when you find something you love. It's not work. It's just, it's fun. I don't feel like I'm, going to work when I go to my shows. I'm going to have fun.
Word.
Right.
And you get drunk.
And I get
Word.
Are the
drunk.
drinks free?
And I get drunk
And
at
And
on
to
work.
the
get
bill?
paid for it, damn it.
Sometimes, but a lot. Sometimes it's free.
Okay.
But most of the time, audience members buy you drinks. So
That's dope.
Oh.
yeah, I definitely. If I make you laugh, you gotta buy me a drink.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
how it goes?
Yeah, that's how the fuck that goes. That's how.
But I
Barter
paid,
system.
but I paid to get in.
I don't give a damn.
I gotta pay for your drink as
You
well as
goddamn
mine,
right.
as well as my dates potentially too.
Yeah,
Give another
hell
drink
yeah.
should be funnier. What the hell?
All right. Do you want a good show or not?
Gets even better.
That's funny.
Makes perfect sense.
But no, at the comedy clubs I drink free. But yeah,
Gotcha.
no, people buy you drinks and yeah, it's no better job. I don't have to take no drug test.
You good to go.
Oh, God.
I've been looking for a job like that. That's why this really works out for me. Cause I refuse to stop smoking weed.
Don't we
Holla.
all?
Holla.
I respect it.
Holla.
And I was gonna bring edibles today, but it was just like I don't know what type of crowd we having. So
Edibles are always welcome.
Always welcome.
Always.
I would die. I would. The last
You
time I
mean
did an edible, I ended up in a shower with all my clothes on. Dead ass, and I never did it again.
Yo.
I was freaking the fuck out, yo, and I never.
Poor thing.
I think I ate way too much too. Like I
It
think
sounds
was,
like you did.
That's
You probably
exactly
had
what
this
happened.
much, and that's way too
Nah,
much for you.
Yeah, I'm a lightweight when it comes to
Exactly what
edibles.
That's what it sounds like.
that's hilarious.
It was horrible. So let's say like going for tomorrow, you wake up, all your social media, you have all the verified checks, you have access to every other comedian or creator in the world. Who's the first person you want to reach out to for a collaboration, or just for like some tea or something? I don't know.
I probably reach out to Dave.
Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle, yeah.
Word.
And it's so crazy. Like I met Dave a couple times. He was on. I did a show and I ripped, and he came, and he ripped. I'm like, we did a show together, but you didn't even fucking see me. So you don't know that we did a show together.
Mm.
But yeah, it would be Dave, because he's my flavor of comedy. Like that is my style, you know. Like I'm a little bit more aggressive than he is. He's a little bit more laid back on stage. I'm a little bit more in your face. Just because I'm a woman, you know, we extra as fuck. So but yeah, just like the content and, you know, delivery, yeah, it would be Dave. Probably Chris Rock too. I love Chris Rock. That is my.
I love him too. It's my favorite comedian.
Yeah, they are like a tie to me. So yeah, them too. Dang, Ellen, I love Ellen. That's my bitch.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I'll probably hit up them three. Yeah, that's it. Oprah, I hit Oprah up. Let a bitch hold something. You don't need all that money. You don't. You was giving strangers in your audience money.
I really wonder what she does besides investing into her companies with that money. Like, is she just, I don't know.
She just sitting on a pile of money.
Probably. Selfish.
I swim in that shit.
I wonder. What are like some of your goals for this year that you have for yourself? Like, did you have anything particular you want to accomplish by a certain time, or?
Yeah, I gotta. I'm doing a show in the Dominican Republic.
The Black Women's Comedy Festival, yeah.
Oh, I'm doing a Black Women's Comedy Festival too.
Oh no, I'm confusing the two. You're doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I gotta,
She's busy.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Busy is
So
good.
the Black Women Comedy Festival, yes, that is.
That's next week.
Yes,
Okay.
that is dope coming up. You gotta look at a Black Women in Comedy Festival. Google it. Get the dates and see, you know, like where we're gonna be. It's gonna be in Brooklyn.
Cool.
That's gonna be super dope. That's coming up next week. But the show in Dominican Republic is it's in May. It's for Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, dope.
So the weekend is hosted by Big Tigger.
Mm-hmm.
And this is their 13th annual weekend of doing it there, and it be so lit. This is my 3rd year doing it.
Okay.
So so it's like different parties for the whole weekend. So you got like a 90s party, a phone party, a white party.
You're guaranteed to be drunk, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, it's an all-inclusive resort, so you're gonna be drunk from sun up to sunset.
Sheesh.
And I'm hosting the comedy show.
Hey,
So it's me. I'm hosting. B Simone, she's on the show. You know, my boyfriend.
Not familiar.
She's looking for a boyfriend.
I was gonna bring her up, but I was just like, let me just ask Justin, you know, because.
Yeah. So she's on the show with Desi, the guy who she's always in the
Oh
car with.
yeah.
He's on the show, and Donnell Rollins is.
Oh, I love that guy.
Is
Yeah.
headlining. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
love him.
is a beast. So he's headlining, but I'm hosting the show, so it's gonna be super lit. And Tigger, he'll be there. Tigger sometimes kind of co-hosts the comedy show too, but he's like a super fun party host. Like I love partying him. He is the mayor of parties. Like it turns up. Like so if y'all ain't doing nothing. I can see what we do about a little package for y'all if y'all want to come.
Yeah. That'd be dope. Yeah.
Super lit.
Yeah, Punta Cana. No, it's Puerto Plata. We're gonna be a Puerto Plata, but like they be getting like up to like 3,000 people there. Like we sell out the whole resort usually.
That's tough.
Oh yeah, it goes down.
I'm going in July.
Yeah, nice.
Yo.
I need to lose a few pounds because I plan on being naked.
Okay, that's a goal.
Hey.
Yeah, I want to be naked the whole weekend.
Get it?
Hey.
Cause you know like what happens in DR never happened.
Got it.
So I might want to bust it over for a real nigga and yeah. So I want to be naked the whole weekend. That's my plan.
Naked.
So I gotta drop like about 20 something, 30, 40 pounds. But you know what? Even if I don't drop it, I'm still be naked. So fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. Be free, yeah.
Y'all got to deal with this little back fat. You know,
Be free.
fuck y'all.
That's dope.
So that if you guys want to come to that, the Memorial Day getaway. That's the website you can go to for the little packages. I did a show. Essence Lounge. Don't forget that.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
8 o'clock sharp.
Right.
1662 Atlantic Avenue.
Women Crush Wednesdays.
Oh, I'm late. We was talking about he asked me about one of an accomplishment that I thought was big. I got to work with Damon Wayans too.
What?
How could
I
you
love
forget
Damon
that?
Wayans.
Yeah, I got to tour with him too.
What?
We did a couple shows. We did at least like 15 or 16 shows.
That's
together.
so cool.
Shit.
Yeah, he was like amazing. I love him.
How does that work? Does he his team reach out to your team and then you just connect that way, or is
No.
it personal email?
Well, the first show I did with him was in Chicago. I was hosting. The club hired me to host for the weekend. Some headliners travel with their own help, with their own feature and host, and sometimes the headliner will let the club choose. So he didn't have nobody that was traveling with him for that specific show, and so the club hired me to host. So I hosted for him, and he was like, you are dope. You know, you want to come on the road? I was
That's
like,
so
yeah.
cool.
Fucking dope.
It's his
Yeah.
personality, like how he is in his stand up, and like I know acting
Like,
obviously you have to
Damon.
take on a different role, but like is that like how he is, like funny all the time, like?
Yeah. He's a naturally funny person, but he's
Right.
very laid back. He's older now.
Okay.
So I got the 50-year-old game.
Slow down.
I didn't get that. Yeah, I got the slow
You
down.
didn't get the
Damon.
blank man.
Nah, I didn't get the young one that was out partying and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I thought he was still like that, honestly.
funny.
That nigga was in bed at 10 o'clock. Like, after we got off stage, that nigga was like,
Yeah.
bye, bitch, I'm out of here.
Right.
So,
That's funny.
So I got the old day.
Did you get him to do any of his voices from any of his other characters?
Oh yeah, he do them on stage.
Oh.
So yeah,
I
that
love
was great. He was super duper funny. A woman tried to give me some panties to get at him one time.
Oh my god.
I was like, ma'am, I'm not touching your drawers.
What?
She had nerve though. That's
The
bold.
nerve.
She was just like,
Have you had any?
pasties to him?
My bad. Have you had any crazy fan interactions, like with any dudes or anything like that?
Yeah, I have. I've had a guy that was like, he would come to my shows a lot, and he was interested in me and talking to me. But after like a couple conversations with him, I realized that he was a murderer. Like, somebody that's like a goon.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, you got some bodies.
He tried to diamond you. Diamond.
Like, just this conversation, I could tell, like, you're not a good person. Like, you probably done got away with some shit. You should probably be doing life in jail or some shit. The police have not been doing their job.
Like, how do you peep that? Like, that's so
But
interesting.
you can just, out of conversation, you could tell. I'm from Chicago. I know
Okay,
murderers.
true.
I'm related
I
to a
forgot
few.
where you was from.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
Sound
felt
right.
safe even turning him down. Like, if you felt that he was a murderer. Like,
My curveball game. Hey.
He didn't know he got turned down till
Yeah,
later on.
yeah.
Man,
My friend
the
zone
worst.
game is like bloop, bloop, put you in that little box. You don't even know how you got in there. Like how the fuck?
Damn.
Ain't no windows in this box.
That's funny.
So yeah, that was Damon Wayans was the other one that I forgot, and I did a show with Cardi B too. That was cool.
That's what's
Okay.
up.
Wait.
You're impressive.
For real, she's
Yo,
You're just
and she's
forgetting
mad.
all this, like-
Mad laid back about it too.
and
humble.
This is
Oh, yeah.
to like
Cardi B.
normal people. Like you're speaking to normal people right now.
She
Like
said
you
she
just
worked
do
with
it.
Damon Wayans. I'm just sitting here like,
Yo,
I wish.
What?
Like, what was the show with Cardi B like?
It was cool. It was a weekend, so it was like another like destination weekend. We were in Dominican Republic.
Jesus.
that's what I think I remember that. Well, I was there that weekend, but I remember being on Instagram, seeing all the pictures that
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, it was like the weekend. It was Cardi B, Fabulous, DJ Envy, and then like the comedians. It was me, Rip Michaels, and this guy from Philly, Skeet Carter. But that was dope. That was the first time like DJ Envy got to see me perform, and
He says you were good.
yeah.
Nice.
That's what's up.
He said he was so
I
funny.
don't doubt that no one has told you that you're bad. Like
For real.
I really think like you're good. Like based on what I've seen in the clips, I think you were pretty funny.
Oh,
And
thank
sitting
you.
with you today, of course, like
You made us laugh all throughout
I'm
the damn
definitely-
episode.
definitely
We ain't
a
laughed this
fan.
damn much.
yeah, Wednesday we about to have a
Wait.
group trip.
Group
Right.
trip
Yeah.
for $3.99.
Come through.
My favorite saying.
Yes,
favorite
and y'all definitely gonna owe me a drink. So.
Yeah, I know.
I'm with it.
Had-
I
you
I
had
don't know
drink
about
of
all
choice.
that, but I'm just like
This one right here.
Actually, it's Jameson. I use.
Jameson.
I'm a Jameson girl.
Straight?
I'm
Jameson and
Do you mix
ginger.
Jameson with it? I don't
Jameson,
drink it.
ginger, a little bit of ice lime. That's it.
That's some real
Savages.
drinkers.
Yeah,
I
right.
drink it straight.
Cool.
Oh, see?
She said she's drinking
Straight.
straight.
Me and
now.
CR went like
Need a
fucking
little ice
margaritas
in
and
it.
shit. Like,
Word up.
we mad lightweight with it. Yeah.
One drink and I'm gone.
Uh,
I'm a
What?
lightweight, bro.
I have at least 8 Jamesons a night.
Nice.
I'm
Damn.
Irish.
Is that before getting on stage or is that?
Yeah, while like throughout the night. Yeah,
Oh.
like, not 8. I ain't gonna say that. Probably like 7.
7.
If I have like
Same
7
number.
drinks, then I can only have like 1 blunt. Like I can't.
But I
not-
can, yeah, I can
No, I
smoke a lot.
gotta-
I
I
can't
gotta
Are you a
drink
drinker,
lot.
smoker, or you're more smoker, drinker, or it's even?
Both. I'm a pothead and an alcoholic.
Two bad habits.
I envy the potheads because I can get through like half a blunt and then I'll just be cool. But
Mm.
like a whole one, I'm dead. Like I don't even know where I'm at that point. I'm more so of a
Gosh,
drinker. I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
more of a
lightweight.
smoker.
a margarita drinker and
Right.
a half a blunt.
Yeah, that's me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your drawers is light as shit.
Hey,
You
That's how
are
God
light
made me.
in the ass. we gonna train you up a little bit. We gonna
just
check.
get me fucked up.
Yeah, we gonna test your chops. You can't be out here lighting ass like that.
Every
You're a
female
grown
that
ass-
I
I'm
met-
doing the black
You're a
community
grown-ass
wrong right
man.
now. Jesus
Every
Christ.
female that I've ever met that can drink always gets other people to drink more. So
That's a
like, no,
fact,
we
yeah.
gonna get your liver together. Like, yo, son.
I'm gonna come back a different person.
Yeah,
Jesus.
you gonna come back a different complexion.
Right
Oh,
here,
no.
here we coming to the show with a brown paper bag.
Going back to the roots. That's nuts.
Turn him into a whole wino. He gonna walk out this office and go to sleep right on the corner.
Right.
Now all this talking of drinking, now I need a drink.
I do too.
No.
I can't believe y'all had nothing to drink in here.
The one
Word.
time we don't. Usually
The
we
one
do.
time we don't.
Yeah,
And
you
I
want-
meant-
You have to come back. Then that means.
Thank you. I was just about to say
You
now I
gotta
got to
come
come back
You gotta
and
come
be
back.
treated right because
Yeah,
y'all
we'll
y'all
take care
treated
of
me
you.
like a redheaded stepchild in this bitch today.
Oh.
Now, low key, I'm still working on like the professionalism, right? So you offered him water. So I offered you water. You got one glass of water. I'm sorry,
Didn't
unfortunately.
even get no refill.
But like,
And it's empty.
That was done
Yeah,
before we
but-
started recording.
yeah.
Can one of these interns get a bit of water? I've been talking for an hour and a half. My shit is parched. We gotta get it together.
We about to wrap up
All
anyway.
right, all right,
so
all
would
right.
you like to shout out your social media and everything? You
Oh
do?
yeah, man. Y'all can find me on Instagram. I am Mimi Simpson. My name is spelled M-E-M-E, like me, not you. So it's Mimi Simpson on Facebook, and Twitter is it's Mimi Bitches.
Straight like that.
I like that.
Yes.
Word.
All right, so yeah, follow me, man. Make sure you guys check out the Major Hype Show on BET on the digital YouTube channel.
Women Crush Wednesdays.
Women Crush Wednesdays,
Brooklyn,
1662
yes.
Atlantic Avenue. Make sure you guys come
8:30
out.
sharp tomorrow.
8:30 sharp every Wednesday. Make sure you get there early, man. You're going to be sitting at the bar. Not that that's a bad place to sit either, but you want to get on stage and, you know, get the real essence of the show. Memorial Day getaway in DR. MemorialDayGetaway.com, hosted by me, Big Tigger, Donna Rollins, B. Simone, Desi. It's gonna be a dope, amazing weekend. I'm gonna be naked all weekend if y'all care about seeing me naked.
Somebody will take a picture and put us on the internet.
No. I'll beat them up. You can't post my news, nigga. You wait for me to post my shit.
Thank you for coming, though. We appreciate
Thank you
having
for having
you.
me.
So much fun having you.
Yes.
Thank y'all. This was a dope podcast. I appreciate y'all having me. I will see y'all tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
down, yo.
All
I
right.
just checked my schedule. I'm free.
It's Wednesday.
For real.
All
I'm
right,
free.
yeah, let's get it.
Family affair.
You know, let me call somebody's daddy to give me some money, but I'm gonna be there.
It's a free show.
You still need money in your pocket.
Bitch, we cute.
Yo.
Listen, I go out all the time with $10 in my pocket. I leave. I come back with $10. I be fucked up, full. Like when you cute. Oh, are you a lesbian? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
That's why you don't be giving niggas a chance. At least don't tell them you're a lesbian. Let them buy you a drink and then tell them.
We're seeing the game unfold firsthand.
Right.
CR. This is what they do. This is how they talk about it.
They hustlers.
Yeah, we gotta hustle. You know?
Hustlers.
Yeah, I mean my conversation costs drinks. So if you want to talk to me for longer than 30 seconds,
Just keep the drinks coming.
yes.
And after 3 drinks, I need a plate of food and a doggy bag. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That shouldn't be a problem.
No, it shouldn't. No, you're right. No.
No, and then come out to Women Crush Wednesdays. I got you, girl. We'll put your shit on somebody's tab.
I tell y'all she was dope.
She's
For
definitely
sure.
dope.
Y'all want to shout out y'all social medias?
Oh, it's still Lady Way 15. Hello, everybody.
Coco.
Riley.
CR, you got mad shit you going on. Just how you should.
Anyway, yo, it's your boy CR, aka Conscious Rap. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, CR_908. Same thing on Twitter. 10 Toes Down music video coming out soon.
Dope. As always, y'all never get my personal Instagram because what's private is private, but you can follow the show's Instagram at Introverted Intuition Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Introverted Intuition. What else? I don't know. I'm tired. It's hot. I'm thirsty.
It's hot as fuck.
Mimi, again, we appreciate you coming to the show. Definitely
Thanks
hope
for
to have you back
having me.
soon. And everyone, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.